Hey guys, it's John here again. This is part 2 of my being a bookworm. Hope you enjoyed the first video, and I hope this is what people want to see. I know Metal Mickey said, "Can I see your books?" So yeah, and I know he loves books. Obviously, he likes. He uses his Kindle, so and I love the physical thing. I love books. I love being able to pick one up and go, especially on a new copy. I wouldn't do that on a second-hand one. I'd be like, yes, sometimes. Right, unless you know that they've come from a non-smoker's house, or one that hasn't got pets and stuff like that, you'd be fine. Right, first book on part 2, as told by TJ Lammers, Tony Iommi, Iron Man. I haven't actually read this yet. I didn't get this till quite late actually. This book originally came out, I think it probably has been a few years now, 2012. It was a bigger book than this originally, hardback. This has been updated with new material since anyway, and I was after this for quite a while, and the price was just stupid, so I thought I'll wait till the paperback comes out. So I'm glad I did. I just haven't got around to reading it, but I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, that's one I'm looking forward to reading. The other one that I've had for a while and I haven't read yet is, and I can't believe how beaten up and battered it looks, even though I bought it new and I haven't read it yet. Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare. And yes, I am a fan of the 70s Alice Cooper, and there's a lot of cool stuff in here, so some cool photos as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that. There's some pictures there of when he was in the Spiders as well, I think. Yeah, there's the Spiders there. Oh my god, he was on focals there. But yeah, that's some really cool pictures. So this one here, Welcome to My Nightmare, came out in 2012, Omnibus Press. There is another one. There's the golf one. I forgot what it's called now. And I wasn't sure whether to get that. If anybody knows if it's worth getting, let me know in the comments. There's one. It's called something golf or whatever. So put that down there. One that I did start reading, I always loved the cover of this book, and I thought, yes, brilliant. And it's this one, Paul Wilkinson, Rat Salad, Black Sabbath and the Classic Years, 1969 to 75. Just I've always liked the cover of this book. The jacket is amazing, nicely done. But then when I read it, I read some of it. What was it again? I found out that it wasn't obviously an official one, and I know most books are not always official, the biographies and that, but there's a lot of things in here where, if I can remember, I think the guy wasn't too sure if he'd actually got his information correct, and I think that's what put me off. I thought, hang on a minute, is this guy just writing a load of bollocks and then just selling this, putting this book out? And it may turn me off reading it. It's got all these little bits at the bottom, starred and that, and I wasn't too sure. If anybody's read that book, let me know what you thought of it. But yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one so much. Otherwise, Ozzy Unauthorized. Sorry if you had a blip. Just had a message. And this one's Sue Crawford. This is Unauthorized. This was actually quite a good book. I did enjoy reading this, and it's quite easy for someone like me with ASD and reading small print. This is not too bad. It's quite spread out wording, but there's some really cool pictures in there. Ozzy there with his first son, Louis. It is Louis, I think. Yes, it is Louis, and that's 1981. Very cool. And yeah, some really cool stuff. I tend to not read much about Ozzy anymore. Since that Osbourne's program came out in the, whenever it was, early 2000s, Ozzy was one of my sort of, you know, rock and metal idols, you know, rock and metal idol back then, before then, and I loved everything that Ozzy did. When that TV show came out, you know when they say don't meet your idols, well, I don't think I'd want to meet my idol when I watched that TV show. It put me off. And then from then on, my interest in Ozzy went downhill. So yeah, I don't even watch. I tried watching Ozzy and Jack Osbourne's road trip thing. First season was alright, okay. Second one, nah. But I did read a lot of books in the noughties, Ozzy ones, just to try and get back into that. You know, enjoying what he does. But yeah, I Am Ozzy. You will find this in charity shops everywhere. That one and not unauthorized. So easy to find. But yeah, sometimes you want to, there's a lot of stories in these books that you want to believe, and I believe 90% of what I read. There's some that are a bit like, okay, is that just Sharon Osbourne making Ozzy being more outrageous? She really gets on my wick, to be quite honest, Sharon Osbourne. And I have read her book, her first one. Next one. This one's well worth getting. This is The Other Rock Detector. Ozzy Osbourne. This is brilliant. This is got so much discography stuff, and what all the guys that were in the band over the years, and where they went, what bands they went into, albums that were brought out by them bands and stuff. It's just a massive big, what I love, family tree type thing, because I'm well into genealogy and stuff. So yeah, there's also this, you know, story at the start, and then it gets into discography, and yeah, brilliant. That is a brilliant book. I need to put these down here. Next one, Black Sabbath, The Vault. This is exclusive box set, contains the illustrated book, posters, and rare removable rock memorabilia by Paul Elliott, unofficial and unauthorized as well. I don't know whether you want. Shall I bring everything out? I'll just slides out of this. I have had people comment on this. I did a video just on this book a long time ago, and people were saying what a good book it is. It's got all like these little pull-out things where, you know, here and then there's memorabilia things, tickets, copies, little copies of tickets in there and stuff. It's not the original stuff. There's a whole envelope there with loads of stuff in it as well. And there's another one there. There's another envelope where you can open it, pull all the stuff out. There's the items in there. There's a poster in there. There's a handbill from 1973. There's New Musical Express advert from '73. Postcards and stuff in one of these envelopes. And they're all the way through the book. There's another slip thing with a poster in there. And there's another envelope there with stuff in. It tells you there. There's a ticket in there from the Marquee Club, 1970. That's not the Marquee as you think. This is one called Marquee, but it's in Torquay Town. And then that's in 1970. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a flyer in there, another concert flyer in there as well, signed by the 4 founding members. All sorts. That's just a collector's thing. I'll show you on the back. It shows mostly what's in there. Next thing, this book here, Kicking and Dreaming, the Story of Heart, Soul and Rock and Roll, Anne and Nancy Wilson. This is a brilliant book. I love this one. This is one of my favourite books anyway, along with a couple of my Whitesnake and Def Leppard ones that I love reading. And this is a great book. It really is a great book, this one. Well worth getting if you're into that band. The next one, not so much, which is another Heart one. This one here, unless you really are a die-hard, want to know every single little minute thing they did in the studio, get this one. But to be quite honest, I spent more time yawning because all they did was talk about how they set up a microphone, what exact microphones they used, where they positioned the microphone, what things they put by the microphone, what year the microphone was made. What other things can we talk about microphones? Yeah, just lots of things to do with microphones, where they put things in the studio. As it says on there, in the studio, but there was a hell of a lot of things that I didn't really want to be reading 2 chapters of where they put a microphone. And I was like, okay, I might have exaggerated on 2 chapters, but felt like it. There's some really cool old photos in here, not necessarily in the studio. These are of the Anne and Nancy when they were young. But there's not actually, right, to be quite honest, even though it's called In the Studio, there's hardly any pictures of In the Studio. It's like on tour. So they obviously are talking about making the different albums and stuff. And they do have different sections for different albums, but there's not a huge amount of pictures in the studio. Maybe they didn't take many, but I don't know. It's worth getting if you can get it cheap. But I wouldn't pay obviously I didn't pay $19.95 for this because I don't live in America. I can't remember how much I paid for this in UK pounds, but I wouldn't pay full price for that unless you really are die-hard. I am die-hard, but not about what's in the going on in the studio to that detail. So yeah, I would have liked to have known more about each song that they did in the studio. So, and less of what mic they used. So the next book, I'm going to do this as I'll do a couple more. Next one is a book I love, and I really do love this book. I think it's brilliant, and it is Hello Me, Meet the Real Me. It's I didn't do that enough. I didn't do that Mustaine enough. There you go, Mustaine. I got the hard copy, and you know what? I think I got the other copy as well. Or did I send that to someone else? I can't remember. But yeah, Life in Metal. Love this book, as I just said. This is one of my favourite books, big time. But yeah, this is the sort of book I like reading the most. If you've read this book, you'll know what I mean. And then I've got to read this one, because this is one I think I got from Cloudy Milder. I'm sure I did. I'm sure he sent me this. And it's My Life with Death. It's David Ellefson. And I really want to read that next. Forward by Alice Cooper. And Discovering Meaning in a Life of Rock and Roll. I take it this was the one he did after leaving Megadeth the first time. So oh, what's in here? Oh yes, hang on a minute, it is from Cloudy. Sorry for taking so long to get something out to you. Must be this. It's a good read. Not as good as Mustaine's, but still good if you're a Megadeth fan. Cheers, Andy, aka Cloudy Milder. Yeah. See, I've kept the note in there. He'll be pleased. So yeah, thank you, Andy. I did obviously open that from you, and was very pleased at the time anyway, and still am. But yeah, I still haven't read it, so I'm gonna. That's my next one with after my Bruce Dickinson book. So, and then the one that's worth so much money, it's unbelievable. I got this when it first came out, and I can't believe I managed to get it, because I wouldn't want to try and get it now because it's insanely expensive, and that is Wasp, Sting in the Tail. And this is the definitive biography. This is unofficial, obviously. There's no other Wasp book out there. And it's got interviews in there with ex-members: Rick Fox, Gary Holland, Johnny Rod, Randy Piper, Chris Holmes, Stet Howland, and still Steve Riley's there's interviews with. Story behind Wasp classics, what really happened to Tony Richards, and who originally named the band Wasp. A few of the questions there, and Discover Inside. But yeah, if you can get that book, get it, keep it in good nick. It's worth a fortune. But yeah, you get inside, right? Mine's actually signed as well by Darren Upton, the guy that did it. He signed it down there. You actually get this family tree or band family tree poster in it as well. And so there's Blackie, and there's the family tree, New York Dolls 75 onwards through to Wasp. And you know, when I got this book, I didn't think that they weren't going to do it anymore, and I wish I'd kept it a bit better nick. I creased the top. But yeah, extremely it's not a hard read. It's quite It's very easy and spaced out, especially for somebody like me to be able to read that. But yeah, you can get it on Kindle, but it's still dear, I think. Next book. Oh yeah, I love this book as well. This is the only Ozzy book I love the most, and it's the one with Randy Rhoads, and it's Crazy Train, and it's the high life and tragic death of Randy Rhoads. The only crappy thing about this book is Young Wee Malmsteen, whatever you pronounce his name. He does the forward. Oh, my thing's gonna end. I'll see you later. My memory's going. Cheers. Watch part 3.